Hi everyone. I hope everyone's having a good Easter if you celebrate that type of thing, and if not, I hope you're having a good day anyway. A good day anyway. Anywho, I wanted to do something kind of special and also kind of different for Easter. I mean, let's be honest. Do people even celebrate Easter on a YouTube? Do people even make Easter videos like they do Halloween or Christmas videos? I don't think so. Heck, I'll be more surprised if people celebrate St. Patrick's Day on YouTube more than they do Easter, but I just never seen it. Prove me wrong. Anyway, I wanted to talk about Nirvana for a second. Now, the reason why this is going to be a very special video, for me at least, and hopefully for you too. Nirvana is the biggest reason. Okay, if the Beatles got me interested in music, Nirvana got me interested in music in a different way. Nirvana taught me how. The Beatles were the moment I know when I want to be a musician. Nirvana taught me how to do it. Nirvana showed me you didn't really need to have this super high sample of talent. You just have to pick up a guitar and say what you have to say. And you gotta have passion. Punk rock, quoting Kurt Cobain, punk rock means freedom. And the freedom from existential pain. So today we're going to be breaking down other discography, meaning their albums, and I'm going to tell you what I think about them. Now keep in mind, this is all my opinion. If you have opinion about the album, please leave it down in the comments below. Now I do have a couple rules. One, albums, not LPs, not... Even though I really love that Unplug, MTV Unplug, I won't be showing it here. I will be, however, making a separate video talking about different things like that. But to me, that's not an album. That's more of a novelty. A really good novelty, but a novelty. I will, however, be counting Incesticide, because even though... Yeah, I mean, it's technically just a bunch of B-sides from Bleach. It still counts. Number 3. I love all these albums. So if I give these albums criticism, I will. I'm putting away my bias in them a little bit. Keep in mind, I'm ranking these albums on how much I listen to them and how much I go back from them. So with all that out of the way and further to do, oh yeah, and this is not going to be a full history on the band. If you want to hear the history on the band, there's like billions of videos and documentaries. Anyway, let's get down to it. Out of the way. Further to do, the Nirvana discography. I guess we need to start where it all began. Bleach, released in 1988, was a interesting case. This album is actually their first kind of, I would argue, their first and only grunge album, to be honest. And it's funny, because Nirvana gets looked at as a grunge band, which... Okay, this album kind of does that, and you know me, I love grunge. But to me, Nirvana wasn't grunge since this album. And that's nothing bad about it. All bands, mature eventually, and Nirvana just happened to be the one to mature. Thing about grunge was pretty much a marketed ploy. Even though how much I love that word, I even understand that. Anyway... What do I think about this album? Well, there's songs I like and there's songs I go back to. I will be perfectly honest though, and I know this is going to get a lot of hate from Nirvana fans from me, but please understand where I'm coming from. This is not, in my opinion, this is not the best Nirvana album. I love it, but to me, Kurt Cobain or heck, any of the band members, I mean, we didn't even get Dave Grohl yet. this band Kurt Cobain, Chris Novoselic, and at the time Chad Simmons, before Dave Grohl. Yeah, you could tell this is our early stages, and Kurt Cobain, even though how much I love him as a singer, and here he kind of comes off as a metal vocalist, which ain't a bad thing. There's many ways you can point it off, and yeah, Kurt Cobain kind of does, but when I think of Kurt Cobain, I don't think of a metal vocalist. To put this blandly, if I think of Kurt Cobain, I think of a pop punk vocalist. And no, I don't mean pop punk in the generic sense. I mean like pop punk as in actually punk, but with pop kind of Beatles-esque melodies. You get what I mean? And About a Girl is probably the best example of that. I love About a Girl. And I love Blue, the first title track. So yeah, this album is good, but not the best Nirvana album. And I guess to kick it off, to end it off here with Bleach, is I do recommend you to check it out if you're a Nirvana fan, want to know where they come from. But if you've been a Nirvana fan from just listening to Nevermind, I don't know. Speaking of Nevermind, probably one of the best-selling albums, arguably, since the year 1992. Now, Nevermind is an interesting album to talk about, because everybody knows it! Everybody. But, joking aside, how does the album stand up? I like it. Like I said, I love all of these albums, but if I'm going to be perfectly honest, kind of like how I said with Bleach, you know, how Bleach didn't find his song, you know, how Kurt Cobain didn't really find their song suit yet. With Nevermind, I'll be perfectly honest, they were getting close to finding their song suit. A little noise, a little pop, a little outsider music. The only problem is, it's too polished to be outsider music. And it sounds kind of muddy at points, but it doesn't go too far to be muddy. And it just kind of comes off as them trying to make a big corporate album. And don't get me wrong, even Kurt Cobain himself didn't like this album. I'm not saying I hate it. I love this album, like everybody else. But I'm going to be honest, it's not its best. However, there's some songs in there I do like. Of course, I really love Come As You Are. I love Polly. And I even love Something in the Way. So yes, it's a good album, but like Bleach, all these are good albums, but like Bleach, I just feel like Kurt Cobain didn't have enough room to figure out what he wanted to do yet. Yes, he's at least not trying to sound like a metal vocalist anymore like he did in Bleach, but, you know, as big as the album it is, it's kind of the overrated Nirvana album, in my opinion. Going up to Incesticide. Now, I'm not going to say anything different than I did in Bleach in this, saying that this is mostly B-sides from Bleach, but I'll be honest. I mean, I like Hair Slay Queen. I think that's a pretty interesting track. I like, of course, I like Dive. But like I said in Bleach, he doesn't, you know what I mean? And they're all good albums. I'm gonna specify this. They're all good albums. if I'm gonna take away my biases for a second, I have to be honest. But, I mean, it's fine. Okay, anyway, moving on to the last album, in Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm going to be honest, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is my favorite Nirvana album. And heck, it's not just the best Nirvana album, it's one of the best albums, period. Finally, we got Kurt Cobain at his best. And heck, not just Kurt Cobain, but we got the band as their best. Dave Grohl's booming, noisy, but at the same time kind of radio friendly. I don't know how that works. Drum playing, but it works. Chris Novosellic's bass. I swear to God, Chris Novoselic, man, he's underrated. He should get a lot more attention as a bass player. Kurt Cobain just screaming on top of his lungs, but also having this kind of mellow sense to his voice. And it just all comes together. And it breaks my heart that this was their last album before Kurt Cobain died, because I feel like they could have done a lot more. Or he could have done a lot more something, you know. But at least we got a cool album. Now remember, I love all of these albums. Nirvana is one of my favorite bands of all time. And I would say first and foremost, I'm a Nirvana fan before I'm a music fan. But yes, these are my opinions on all Nirvana albums. Tell me what your opinions are on these albums, and see ya.